unplugging my computer.
It's like
Every single time you try to move the cable, you unplug my computer.
I'm sorry.
And you risk ruining everything.
That is like the third
Everything
time.
that we've worked so hard to achieve.
That is like the third time I've done that to you. Sorry.
Anyway, guess what?
What?
Was that recorded?
Welcome back to Midnight Masterminds.
Aww. What the hell?
This is a screenplay show where we just sit and this happens, but also sometimes we do our best to review movies and TV shows that we saw and talk about movie news. My name's Tyler.
I'm Taylor.
Yeah.
I'm Kit.
This week, we're going to be reviewing Good Boys. It's a movie. It's a comedy about three childs who do shenanigans. Taylor is going to be solo reviewing Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark because Kit and I were unable to see it in time.
Wah, wah, wah.
Yeah. And we'll also cover a couple news topics. Not much. And then Kit and I are also going to give a brief what we thought of
Nice.
excuse me.
Yeah.
Of Stranger Things season 3.
Quality content.
To start things off, I was gonna ask if either of y'all have heard any initial reactions for It Chapter 2.
No.
Because it's started to come out in early releases.
Is it?
Yep, there are a few press screenings and junk like that that have happened in the last few weeks, and general reviews are that it's great.
Cool.
The first one was better.
Oh.
Oh man, this is like the first film that's had that review.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I was surprised to hear that a sequel didn't perform as well as the surprise hit the first one was. You know? But
yeah,
hey, I'm not, all jokes aside, I'm still excited to see it. Apparently, Bill Hader steals the fucking show. And Pennywise, I think a lot of what people say is that because we already had a movie with Pennywise, we know what to expect because he became such an icon.
Right.
That he's no longer as surprising. It's almost like welcome to see him because he's so entertaining to watch. Yeah, I'm still really excited to see it. We have our tickets for is it next weekend or the weekend after?
Who knows?
I think it's the weekend after. But yeah, we'll cover that on the show when it comes out.
Oh man, it's almost September, huh?
Yeah, man.
Oh, yeah.
It's almost Halloween time.
We've also got we've got a bunch of spooky movies coming up that it's gonna just.
Oh, we do?
Well, I mean, Ready or Not, that movie where
Oh, that's right.
they play hide and seek, but it's violent.
You know, when I first saw that trailer, I was like, this looks stupid. And every subsequent time I've seen that trailer, I'm like, I want to see that a little bit more.
Yeah. Screenplay James saw it already and has heavily encouraged us to go see it because he had a really good time.
Okay.
So I'm super stoked for even more so for that one now. I was always excited for it because I agree, the trailer looked so much fun, and I love black comedies.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And I love playing with the tropes of horror movies and all that.
It reminds me a lot of Tucker and Dale versus Evil.
It's that.
A quality film.
It reminds me of You're Next. I don't know if you guys ever saw that one.
No.
I don't think so.
It's very similar in that it's typical horror movie, slasher movie where it's just people trying to, kill up on a heroine and maybe her hapless significant other. But the heroine is a little bit more capable than they may have expected. It's that to a T. But this one is a little different because it's
When did that come out?
a few years ago. I think it was maybe 2012, 2013.
Okay.
Something like that. That one's pretty good. But yeah, we got a bunch of good old fun horror movies coming up. Maybe we'll do a couple of retrospectives on some of our favorites. That could be a fun episode where we each review our favorite ever horror movie.
Oh, God.
Does it have to be horror or just
Horror themed.
The
horror
genre?
themed?
Yeah.
Because I have a lot of thoughts on Over the Garden Wall.
Yes, you do, Taylor.
I know
One
it
day.
came out 5 years ago, but
One
I
day.
have things to say about it now.
One day you'll be able to share. How about, alright, next I want to kind of talk about, probably for a while, about the fallout, or at least the perceived fallout, of Sony and Disney failing to reach a deal for Spider's Boy. But first, I want to hear y'all's thoughts because once I start, it'll be hard to get me to stop.
You know, I'm not really that into superhero movies.
Yep.
And I actually haven't seen either of the Spider-Man standalone films.
Really?
So, yeah, that's it's about. You know, I like Tom Holland.
Yeah.
The stuff I've seen him in.
You've seen Spider-Verse, right?
And I did see Spider-Verse, but that's not.
No.
That's not being affected by this.
No.
Yeah.
That's a different thing. But I was just curious.
And I love Spider-Verse. But yeah, I might get around to seeing them at some point. I hear they're fun. But you know, it's like finding out a kid you don't know is their parents are getting divorced. It's kind of like, I'm not happy that that's happening. But,
I'm sorry to hear that for the people that will be affected.
If it was my choice, I would say, hey, let's not have that happen. But it doesn't affect me directly very much.
Yeah, no, fair enough. How about you, Kit?
I've seen a lot of brouhaha for it online, and as with most things, once I learned about it, I was like, oh, everyone needs to calm down. You know?
Yeah.
So what is, like, who's decided to stop this deal? Because it seemed like a lucrative thing for both of them.
So anybody who says that it's just Sony is an asshole. Everyone who says it's just Disney is uninformed. So basically, Disney approached Sony. Do you guys know? Well, okay. How about? Do you guys know what their original deal was before this all started to happen?
So for years, Spider-Man was a Sony thing from a previous agreement with Marvel before Disney bought them.
It still is.
And then it was relicensed back to Disney to use in their Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Essentially, what it is way back when, before comic book movies were the guaranteed $1 billion blockbusters that they are now.
Someone tell that to DC.
Well, Marvel wasn't doing great, really at all. So they sold the rights to a bunch of their the film and video game rights to a bunch of their properties. That's how Paramount ended up with Iron Man. Fox ended up with the Mutants and the X-Men, and Sony ended up with Spider-Man. Then the MCU happens. They make a bunch of money. They buy back most of their properties from Paramount, and then they buy back most of they buy back all the properties that they sold to Paramount. Which, funnily enough, a lot of people don't know this, but Captain America and Iron Man were like B or C list characters.
Were they?
Before they both got movies. Internationally, when they announced they were making a Captain America movie, people would like laugh because the general impression of Captain America was that he was. I mean, what do you imagine would happen if you were English and you heard they were making a movie called Captain America?
I mean, it would probably be the same as if I heard they were making a movie called Captain England.
There is a Captain Britain.
That's
they teased him in Endgame.
So the feeling I'm having now is what they would have thought 20 years ago.
Yeah, they teased him in Endgame, and they're gonna probably introduce him in the Bucky and Winter Soldier Bucky.
I would love if it was just Steve Rogers in a mustache.
And
he's just like really into biscuits now.
Yeah, but yeah, but Spider-Man is my brother said it best. Unironically, the easiest to market character on the face of the earth is Spider-Man.
I remember
you say, hey, Spider-Man movie, and $1 billion worth of people will go see it, no matter what.
When I was a kid, I had a Spider-Man themed birthday party long before I knew of. I think I knew Spider-Man and Batman and Superman. Mm-hmm. And those were just the superheroes at the time. Spider-Man
on his own is more lucrative than the whole rest of... And his, shared universe. That's why a thing like Spider-Verse can work. Because he's like Batman for Marvel, but so much more, with so much more selling power. And you know how much selling power Batman fucking has.
Yeah.
So... Basically, once Disney had their money behind Marvel, and Marvel could throw a little bit more power around the table when they were trying to negotiate for shit, they went to Sony and were like, hey, y'all haven't had a live-action Spider-Man hit in almost a decade. How about we work out some kind of deal? And Sony was like, okay, how about this? we'll let Kevin Feige be one of the head producers on all future live action Marvel movies. Kevin Feige, you know who he is, right?
No.
Kevin Feige is like George Lucas for Marvel movies.
Oh.
He's like,
as far as the MCU goes.
yeah, he's the producer who is the reason that the story was so well tied together. Now, not the only one, but he's the one concrete thing that has been around since Iron Man.
He single-handedly made all the Marvel movies, right?
Yeah, that's yeah.
Famously.
But him being a producer on all these films is a huge reason why they're all so well connected, well tied together, and also I mean, it sounds gross, but their brand synergy between all the movies, they all feel like they are all Marvel movies. It's a Marvel movie. You can see characters you've never seen before, but it's a Marvel movie because of the way it looks, the way people are acting, and all that. A lot of that is Feige. So Sony was like, all right, he can come produce, and we'll share, we'll allow you to use Spider-Man in MCU movies, and we'll pay 5% of the earnings of a movie as a retainer for Kevin Feige and your services. Disney let them use the MCU and MCU names, locations, story points, blah, 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 blah. Basically, Spider-Man is in the MCU fully, but in his solo movies, Sony still gets all the profit. Marvel keeps the profit for when they share him in something. So when he popped up in Civil War, Marvel kept all the profit for that movie, even though Spider-Man was in it. Ditto for Infinity War and Endgame. But
I was under the impression they had just rented him out and Marvel got to make whatever movies they wanted with him.
No, it was more like Sony owned him definitively. They were just like, yeah, you can use him.
I see.
Because if you can now market Spider-Man solo movies as connected to the most successful film franchise of all time,
right?
Yeah, that's definitely a benefit.
That's what you do.
Also, adding Spider-Man to Civil War is a huge reason that a movie about Iron Man and Captain America beat a movie about Batman and Superman.
Well, also the Batman and Superman movie was garbage.
Yes, but also it was a Batman and Superman movie. First wave ticket sales should have destroyed a Captain America movie. But
if you took someone from the mid-90s and asked them which of these films will do
is
better.
A movie called Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice gonna do better or worse than a movie called Captain America: Civil War?
Oh well, Captain America, he's down there with Captain Kangaroo and shit, right?
Yeah, exactly. So it was crazy that ended up happening, but basically, Marvel is pretty responsible for the fact that live-action Spider-Man is marketable now. It has a lot to do with Tom Holland. He's definitively, I think personally, he's the best live-action Spider-Man we've ever got. He's not in the best live-action Spider-Man movies. Those I still believe are the Sam Raimi Spider-Man movies, at least 1 and 2, but he's the best interpretation of the character that is at least the most comic accurate, because he's definitely a kid still. He's dorky and he's nerdy. You understand why people would pick on him, but you see the potential for him to be this amazing hero, and he's charming and handsome in the right circumstances. So he's basically perfect for Spider-Man. But yeah, Disney was like, hey, so you know how our current deal involves 5% for us and 95% for you guys? What if, now stick with me on this, and I'm quoting a YouTuber I really like for this bit, but what if we take that 5 and just add a 0 behind it?
Oh, that's a lot.
Yeah, basically Disney wanted to split profits for solo Spider-Man movies 50-50 with Sony, and Sony was like,
now
no.
Was Disney footing the bill for those films?
No, Sony was. So Disney was like, so we'll pay 50% and we'll keep 50%. So they were basically like, let's go from us helping you make the movie good, but you getting all the money, to us still helping you make the movie good, paying to help make the movie good, and splitting it 50-50. Now that was more or less a joke, but what a lot of people think they wanted to happen, which I believe, is that they wanted Sony to be like, no, and then they were going to leak that Sony was not agreeing to Disney's requests, so the public would be like,
Seems like
No!
something Disney would do.
Absolutely.
No pun intended. Rat bastards.
Oh my god.
But to be fair, I mean, come on. They're a huge reason of why these movies are doing well.
Well, I do see Disney's point of view of like, why are we investing so much time and energy? Like, it makes sense for them to be like, if we get a bigger cut of the profit, we're going
We could
to
justify sending you our ace in the hole, aka
Right.
Kevin Feige.
right.
But Sony was like, no. How about we could? We were totally fine keeping things the way they were. We would even maybe negotiate some other things to make it work. But the thing that upsets me is that Disney gets all the marketing, or not the marketing, sorry, the merchandising rights. So anytime a Spider-Man toy or shirt or video game sells, Disney. So except for the video games, actually, Sony still has the video games.
Because that
The
Spider-Man game was
yeah.
very successful.
Yeah, it's the highest grossing superhero video game of all time.
What was the
Wow.
box office on that?
I don't know actually, but it's sold like fucking crazy. Yeah, so basically Disney has all the merchandising rights. They still have the TV rights. So like if they want to do a Spider-Man TV show, Disney can do that without having to ask Sony.
Spider-Verse TV show. I would watch that.
So a lot of people were like, what if they just say
News.
fuck you Sony and make a Spider-Man TV show on Disney Plus and connect it to the MCU, but it's a different Spider-Man? I don't know the full extent of the legal like.
There's a whole team of people at Disney that would say, no, you're not going to do that.
Yeah, there's like I don't know all the legal jargon behind their deal, but yeah. So basically, it's not working out. So what the most likely thing is to happen is, Marvel now the MCU now has to ignore that Spider-Man was ever there.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Not even like a, man, I miss Peter.
I think they can reference it, but they can't have any of the iconography or anything like that, and all of the characters that were introduced in a Spider-Man solo movie.
So no Mysterio. Mysterio.
Yeah. This is the way I understand it. I could be wrong, but the way I understand it is all of the characters that were introduced in a Spider-Man solo movie are still Sony's, and they can use them the way they were introduced in the MCU.
No.
So Michael Keaton's Vulture can be in a Sony Spider-Man movie. And Tom Holland. That's another thing. A lot of people are like, no, Tom Holland, no, he was so good as Spider-Man, no. He's still going to be Spider-Man.
Cool.
Just on Sony's.
Just
terms.
on Sony movies.
Cool.
So instead of hanging out with Captain America, well, he was, never mind. Instead of hanging out with instead of hanging out with, like, the current slate of MCU characters,
Rhino.
he's going to be hanging out with, like, you know, Tom Hardy Venom. And, well, you have Rhino, but that's...
Rhino. My boy.
Yeah, but, like, he's going to be hanging out with Tom Hardy Venom and any other Sony characters.
I'd watch that.
Yeah. And also, there's, like, now they can make a full-force live-action Spider-Verse movie and have
Wow.
Andrew Garfield, Tobey Maguire, and Tom Holland all show up as Spider-Man in the same movie.
Oh, good golly.
But they still have the animated ones, Roger Rabbit style.
Yes.
Oh my god!
So, personally, I'm upset that he won't be able to pal around with the Avengers on the big screen anymore. But the best parts about him in the MCU for me was his relationship with Iron Man.
Yeah.
And spoiler alert, Iron Man ain't around no mo. And they needed to figure out someone else to take over as Iron Man anyway, because it was never going to be good as Peter. Peter works really well when he's struggling to pay the rent, when he's like in over his head trying to fight 92 different supervillains all at once.
Peter's good when he's just taking charge of the New York metropolitan area.
He's definitely a fish out of water when you send him to space to fight Thanos' minions. So I don't really care about the ramifications on the MCU because it was the best superhero franchise before Tom Holland Spider-Man showed up. It will continue to be the best superhero franchise after he's gone. And I'm excited for now what they can do with the full reins on Spider-Man. Plus, maybe they learned something with their time working with Disney and Kevin Feige about how to properly make a Spider's Boy.
Spider's Boy.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
Now, is Spider-Man still going to be at Disneyland?
That's a good question.
I think he was at Universal Studios for the longest time.
I think he's allowed to be there. I think he can be at both, too.
Just imagine he's at the gate and the security's not letting him in. No, I work here. No, you don't.
Not anymore, you don't.
Go talk to your lead. He's got something to tell you.
Oh, shit. But yeah, no, what I want to see is a Sinister Six movie.
What's that?
That is.
Don't worry about it.
Okay.
Okay.
Is that Adam Sandler
Okay.
cowboy movie?
Oh God, that's the ridiculous six.
Oh, this is the Tarantino movie.
No, that's Magnificent.
Oh, this is
that's
that Chris Pratt cowboy movie.
The Hateful Eight. That one's the Magnificent Seven.
Oh no, this is the samurai movie.
Seven Samurais? Or 13 Assassins.
Or 12 Angry Men?
7 Psychopaths. But yeah, never mind. I'm not gonna nerd out anymore. I'm not gonna nerd out anymore. But I don't know. I'm a little upset that like I said, that we're not gonna have Spider-Man be able to pal around with the Avengers. But at the same time, I like the idea of one of the, smaller. Sony's fucking massive. But one of the smaller companies, being like, no, fuck you, Disney.
Taco Bell and McDonald's.
Sorry, guys, we're waiting for the next 10 years for Kit to sneeze.
Shut up. It's not happening.
Alright, it's not happening.
I'm gonna kill you.
With my bare hands.
Okay.
And I'm gonna watch.
But yeah, I like the idea of one of the smaller companies sticking up or standing up to Disney's
it's nice to see
authoritarianism.
Disney not get whatever it wants all the time.
Yeah, no matter how hard they try. And I liked that Spider-Verse did so well, and in such a good way too. You know what I mean?
Well, they got the right people on it. That was
Phil Lord and
Chris Miller. Yeah, I can't think of a film they've made I haven't liked.
Yeah, same.
And they've really run the gambit of genre too.
Yeah,
everywhere.
Sony's in a great place to start chipping away at the empire a little bit, and I like that.
I hope Sony Animation makes a comeback. Talk about, they went from Emoji Movie to Spider-Verse. Which
I know, right?
It's weird to because in the trailer for Spider-Verse, they could have said from the company that brought you Emoji
from
Movie.
the makers of the Emoji Movie. Guaranteed no one saw Spider-Verse.
Yeah, that would have cut the audience in half.
But yeah, it's cool that Sony's sticking up for themselves. It sucks that we're not going to see Spider-Man in the MCU anymore. But also, I don't really care. They have so many other characters that are awesome that deserve a shot on the big screen.
Yeah.
Replace Spider-Man with a Daredevil or something like that. So you have a similar aesthetic and power set. Mm-hmm. At least to the layman. They're very different.
It feels like Disney shot themselves in the foot because Spider-Man became such a focal point of the MCU.
That's one thing I'm curious
that they
about.
pushed their luck too much.
That's one thing I'm curious about is how they're going to fill those gaps. Because especially with Far From Home, which is the most recent MCU movie and Spider-Man movie all at once, the ending of that movie has ramifications for Spider-Man, but the mid-credits and post-credits of that movie have huge ramifications on the greater MCU. So it's I'm so curious to see where they take things. But that was almost an entire half hour of Tyler
Spiderman
talking about Spiderman. Kit, let's talk about Stranger Things.
Okay.
Taylor, have you seen any of Stranger Things?
I've seen seasons 1 and 2.
Okay.
And I saw the promotional pop-up on the Santa Monica Pier.
Which was what?
What?
Which was what?
I don't know, it was like this big, I guess it takes place at like 4th of July time.
Yeah, there's like a big 4th of July fair.
So in late June, they did this big pop-up. You had to have tickets for it, and the line was gigantic.
Yeah.
But it was like this walled-off area that looked like, it was like a recreation of like the Stranger Things
Sure.
place. And I thought that was cool.
Oh.
But I did see 2. I'm going to get around to 3 eventually.
You should.
I enjoyed
think
2 enough.
I think you should.
Okay.
Yeah.
I will say, and a lot of people that I know that I talked to about this season disagree with me, but Kitten, I think you feel the same. It took way too long to get really good, but once it got there, I think it was better than season 2. Like season 2 for me was kind of like, oh okay cool, the whole time, so it never really went like whoa or fuck this shit.
Season
But this
2 kind of set up a lot of stuff
Yeah.
that never paid off.
Yeah. Season 3 had a couple moments where I was like, I'm so fucking bored, or what are you doing? And then, but it also had a lot of moments where she cried so loud that I'm sure our neighbors heard it, and I was like so hyped. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it's like it sucked. I think it was episode like at the very end of episode 4 where I started to care. Now, I will fully admit that this is all story stuff that I'm upset with. It wasn't really, and writing and character stuff. It wasn't like visually gorgeous
Stunning.
freaking show.
Stunning.
The cinematography in a lot of the episodes was outstanding. It was ridiculous.
It still kind of follow that Spielberg-esque.
A little bit, but they also added like there were a couple like really great fucking oneers.
Yeah.
Wonders.
One shot.
Oh.
Like where they just run the camera for the entirety of the action of a scene
Yeah.
and they never cut, or if they do cut, they hide it.
A Birdman.
Sort of, yeah. There were a couple of those that were really good. I mean, they've always played with colored lighting and
Right.
the visual aesthetics of that, but they hit it hard in this one, and it was really good.
It was great. Acting was really
oh,
good.
yeah, on
Everyone
point.
did phenomenal.
On point. There were a couple character moments that were beautiful.
Yeah.
Steve Harrington had my favorite one in the entire show.
Is that the cop?
No, that's
The topper.
that's Hopper. Harrington is the cute, pretty boy with the floofy.
Oh, all right.
That everyone loved, that everyone hated at first,
and
is
now
most
would die
people's
for.
favorite character.
18-year-old Ben Schwartz.
Yeah,
Yes,
more or less.
correct. Yes, correct.
There were a couple different bad guys in this one. Some more effective than others. I would say the like overarching main bad was really good, real good. His like second in command, really, really good. And then the other villain that was kind of off to the side, fuck those guys. But not in a like they're villains kind of way. In a like, what was the point?
Bad characters.
Why?
Right.
Yeah. What was the point? Why? There was a lot of potential. Now it wasn't all bad, like that aspect of the season. I'm trying not to spoil it because this isn't technically a review. Yeah, I think it's, if you like the first 2 seasons, definitely give it a watch.
Yes.
If you were curious about getting into Stranger Things, don't start with this season.
No.
But also, why would you do that in the first place? If you were put off by season 2 and you didn't feel like you should watch season 3 because
Watch season 3.
because of you were put off by season 2, I would watch season 3.
It did reclaim a lot of stuff
Yeah,
in
it did.
season
It
2.
did.
That was like,
I do always worry with shows like Stranger Things where it's about, like, the season 1 was fantastic because it really felt like getting, like, the mystery was so interesting.
yes.
And I remember in season 2 feeling like once it was explained, I wasn't as interested in it.
Yeah.
And I'm always worried that it's one of those things where I'm worried the more it gets explained, the less interested I'll be in it. Do you feel like that happens in season 3?
No, because they attack it from like a different angle.
Okay.
You know what I mean? It's like there's different things at play that weren't at play previously that are like, oh, that changes things. Fuck.
Okay.
I agree that like season 2, you were like, all right, they're just doing the whole let's explain the behind the scenes of everything that happened in the first season.
Why is 11? What is this place? And it's like, oh, it's a place where kids have magic powers.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm like, okay.
Thankfully, I will say this because that was the universally most panned thing about the entirety of Stranger Things.
Mm-hmm.
Even still now, with some of the weirdness that was this season, they don't come back. They might come back in the next season.
Yeah, but
they don't come back in this season, so don't
Yeah.
worry.
Those cool grunge kids are gone.
Yeah, those murderous grunge kids are gone. But yeah, Stranger Things season 3. I would recommend giving it a watch.
What would you rate it overall? Like an 8 out of 10? 7 out of 10?
42 out of 79 floofles,
63 being the best, right?
if that's what you feel.
All right. Nice little bill
I
card.
don't like numerically rating things.
What? We've been doing that every episode.
I know, and I don't like it.
Okay, well, we'll...
All right, keeping with that trend.
You're the teacher. The filmmaker is the student.
We'll can it. Don't worry about it. You could do it arbitrarily.
Objectively, I would give it like a 7.
Okay.
Was not by no means was it bad. It was alright. It was kind of bad at some points, but also not for everyone that I've talked to.
It was an above average television program.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yes.
It was.
Yes.
It was at points the weakest and at points the strongest
Yeah.
of a relatively consistently strong show.
yes.
If that makes sense, and it seems like you agree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I get where you're coming from.
All right. Now moving right along. Let's do scary stories first
Okay.
because only one of us has seen it.
Yo.
All right. Do you want the information? There's the information.
All right. Let's see. 43 mil. All right. That probably covers their.
You should explain to the
Advertising
audience what that
budget,
number
too.
means.
Mil means million.
No. Taylor. Not what I meant.
Score. God, cut.
Scory stories to
Scory
darken the
Stories
tell.
tells to tell in its spooky place.
What was it? What was I calling it all weekend?
You were saying frightening
Oh,
tales.
no, I got it. Spoopy tales to relay when it's not dark, or when it's not bright.
Yeah.
Spoopy tales to relay when it's not
And
bright.
I wanted to hit you every time you said it.
So score. God. This isn't a bit. That was a legitimate.
Okay, thanks, Taylor. Moving on.
Scary stories to tell in the dark.
Oh.
All right. Scary stories to tell in the dark had a box office, and it's still in theaters, so this isn't a fixed number
No, yeah.
at this point, but it has cleared $43 million.
Up to now, it more than made back its budget,
Budget was $25 million.
so it wouldn't have been hard to make back its budget.
Their advertising probably capped them out at 40. Does that sound
So
like about?
it's generally safe to assume they doubled.
Yeah.
Whatever the budget was, double it for.
So
marketing.
between this and whatever else it gets in the box office,
Oh yeah.
DVD sales, streaming
Yeah.
rights, it's gonna be fine.
I think it'll do well for a while because horror movies tend to do well over a long period because they're a consistently good date night thing.
And bring it back for Halloween.
And you don't necessarily need the spoilers
Mm-hmm.
like to maintain its enjoyability, like with a superhero movie. Why there's such a big drop off for something like Spider-Man. I mean, big drop off. That movie still. Oh, that's another thing about Spider-Man. Spider-Man: Far From Home is now the highest grossing Sony movie ever, and it's only their second movie ever to break $1 billion.
Wow.
So that's another reason why would they ever give Disney more credit? You know what I mean?
That's
Or more-
500 thou.
Yeah.
No, 500
million. That movie, half of what that movie earned, is double what most movies will make in their entire life cycle.
Sometimes bundles of movies.
Yeah, but anyway, so yeah, this will do fine.
Yeah, it was in. So I never read the scary stories to tell in the
Me
dark.
neither. I had heard of them.
Guys.
I heard of them while I was growing up. But
I was
never
aware
read
of them.
Yeah.
I recognized the iconography. It wasn't something that's ingrained in my childhood,
Mhm.
particular. And so there was some. It does kind of feel like a movie where it shows you the thing and it's like, remember. Do you
Yeah.
remember?
Yeah.
And of course I'm like, nah.
Yeah. I will say, from what I understand, and I'll shut up because I know I didn't see it, so like I can't fully review it. But
Right.
I did my best, since we didn't get to see it, to like catch up on like some of the stuff around the movie so I could add to your review.
Okay.
And one of the things is the monster effects were all practical.
And they were fantastic.
Yeah.
I
And
will say they were fantastic.
Thank you, Guillermo. Guillermo del Toro, one of horror's like
Just a writer, I believe.
just a writer, but he also had influence. But they worked hard to make the monster effects like really emulate what the Scary Stories original illustrations.
And it pays off. There are shots where you can tell it's a CGI model due to practicality.
Sure.
There's a character that is like a shape-shifting creature that's running after another character through the night. That's hard to do with practical.
Yeah. You can do it, but
You
should
can,
you?
but it did look CGI. If it wasn't CGI, like, wow, great job, guys. But I'm 99% sure that there were certain shots that were CGI.
Yeah. Nowadays, it's just, you kind of have to.
Right.
Intermingle,
Yeah.
But there were a lot of the monster effects I could tell were practical, and they pay off. Very little in the film felt cheap. A lot of it was kind of this like brooding, slow burn. There were some cheap scares.
Like some jump scares and stuff.
Yeah, they were, in my opinion, or like a lot of people hate on jump scares. And like any other filmmaking tool, if you use them right, they're effective.
Like, I reference The Conjuring for solid examples of a good use of jump scares, where they've already built up tension in a scene, that so you're on the edge of your seat, so they don't need to just blare horns and sirens and strings and a loud scream to get you to jump. They could just have someone go, and that's enough to make you shit yourself because of the dread that they've already built up in the scene.
Versus like a Paranormal Activity 4.
Where it's just two people laying in bed and then...
Cat jumps in front of the computer.
Yeah.
Gotcha, idiot.
Like, it's just dumb. Like, there's no reason to expect a scare. So there's... You know what I mean? It's like... I don't know.
They didn't earn it.
Yeah, exactly.
This movie, I believe, earns it.
Good.
Again, it's one of those things where the part of this movie that kind of loses points with me is the storyline and characters. Sometimes it feels like some of their decisions are like, well, a movie has to happen.
Yeah.
Like there's one point where this one character knows he's pretty sure he's the next one, and these two characters are gonna go down into a creepy basement to like find these old records of this lady that was in the insane asylum, and he's like, I'm not going down there. I'm gonna stay behind by myself. And I was kind of like, bro, like, you know, it's when people are alone. That's what should scare you more than going down into the creepy basements. Yeah. More than anything, it's like, and then of course, you know, a very good scene where this big lady,
the smiling woman or something like that.
It was my favorite scene in the film where basically he sees her down this hallway and she's just walking towards him very slowly.
Yeah.
And so he turns around to start running down the hallway the other way, and she's at that end of the hallway also. So he comes back and there's another hallway that splits off. He runs in there, and then there's a fork at hallways, and he looks down both of them, and the lady's walking towards him in both hallways. And he just keeps running back and forth and doesn't know what to do. And eventually she just approaches him, and it's fantastic.
Multiple ladies approach him?
It's still one person, but no matter what direction he looks, she's there.
Oh, God.
It's hard to describe without showing you.
Yeah, okay.
But it's not. There's no shot where you see like 5 of them.
Okay, got it.
I'm trying to remember in my mind's eye because now I'm seeing it both ways all of a sudden.
And that's how they get you.
There's an army of big ladies.
And then the Avengers show up and kick their ass.
And Spider-Man's like, screw you, Disney. Starts fighting big ladies left and right. That was by far the best one, in my opinion. There was really only 4 big things that happened in the film. And it did kind of feel like, at one end, it's like, I'm glad that it wasn't just, I felt like I wanted one more. And I didn't get one more. And then they also set it up for a sequel, which I feel like is completely undeserved.
Oh, really?
I do. I'm like, just make one good movie.
Fair.
Why is everything got to be set up?
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. Oh, that's fair.
Like,
that's fair.
at the end of the movie, I was like, I'm not interested in seeing this sequel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe it'll be good, but
Like, well, the only thing is, it's like there's so many monsters in that book,
right,
that are equally as terrifying, if not more so, than the monsters that we got in this one. So like, I would, because I'm definitely gonna see it, even though I didn't get a chance to for this review. We're still gonna go. Or at least I want to go.
Yeah, and pee my pants in public.
But yeah, I would love to see there, especially since they took such care with the practical effects to bring them to life. For this one, I would no.
It's
that's
just
not
the
that is not good. I don't like it.
in the scene where she's like, we're gonna go find our friends, and it's like, first off, how, like, one of your friends went into the wall, and like, that's just it.
Yeah.
Like, what's your plan of attack?
Yeah, didn't one get impaled by like a pitchfork?
One of them's dead. Like one of them,
dead.
One of them got stabbed and turned into a scarecrow, and like his dead body's still, like, his body is there. He's dead.
Like there's like the one dude who he just gets absorbed by the smile.
And I get them being like, maybe we can find a way. But like this one, like,
and another one just gets dragged under a bed, right?
And then, but like his nail scratchings go into the wall, and that's it. And I'm like, all right, yeah, good luck, have fun. You're gonna remove the panel. It's gonna be outside. It's like, all right, well, he's gone.
Yeah,
like,
he's gone.
You're gonna have to like open a wormhole to find this dude.
How would you rate it?
I gave it a 7 out of 10 on my horror movie scale.
Okay.
Because I'm a little lenient towards storyline and character stuff for horror films, because obviously a horror movie has to happen.
Sure.
And very rarely are people in horror films. I usually I'm not like, oh, that wasn't a rational thing to do, because you do dumb things when you're scared.
Yeah, yeah.
So I'm always a little lenient on that with horror films, especially if they do legitimately scare me.
Mm-hmm.
But a 7 out of 10, it's good. If you like the books as a kid, I'm sure you'll get a lot more out of this than I did.
Mm-hmm.
But as a standalone film, I enjoyed it. I thought the ending of them setting up the sequel, I could almost hear the producer on the side like, tell him there's a sequel, because we paid a lot of money for the property.
Oh my god.
But it was fun.
The important question is, did it scare you?
It did get me a few times.
Okay.
It was the audience I was in was a lot of fun, because everyone was flipping out at all the right points.
That's
the
great.
only movies I like to see with an interactive crowd are horror movies.
Not even comedies?
Okay, laughing is different. I like, you obviously you're allowed to laugh or cry or react, but like,
you're trying
when
not
you're
to
seeing
in
a horror movie and people are like, oh fuck, like that's hilarious to me. But when you're seeing an Avengers movie or really anything else and people are like outwardly getting vocally involved, it tends to distract me. But
my favorite part of Infinity War was every time a new character came on screen,
people would cheer.
The 3 8 to 12-year-olds behind me would say the name of that person, like Black Panther. That's Spider-Man.
It's like they knew you didn't have a lot of their names, right?
Well, they're saying it to each other.
Well, yeah, but they did it loud
That would be
enough.
fantastic if they were like, you look confused. He's like half spider, half man, if you can even imagine.
Guess what it's called? Yeah, that's right, Spider-Man.
Spider-Man.
But, yeah.
Good movie. If you like horror films and you like scary stories to tell in the dark, I'd recommend it. If you like practical effects, Guillermo del Toro style. Again, not a Guillermo del Toro film.
No. He didn't direct or produce or anything like that. He just helped write it.
He helped write it, and you could see, but there's a lot of, I feel like the director, whose name is...
Good luck.
That's good, boys. I was like, that doesn't seem right. Andre Overdahl.
Yeah, you're close enough.
All right.
The O has a slash through it. I don't know if that makes a different sound or not.
Dole.
Overdahl.
Overdahl, something like that.
Yeah, he did a great job, and he definitely emulates a Guillermo del Toro style. So if you're into that, check it out. If you're not super into horror films or Guillermo, maybe wait for it to go to Netflix.
Mm-hmm.
Watch it at Halloween time. It's a solid flick.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to give it praise. as the greatest horror film ever, but it was solid, and I'd recommend it.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Yeah, I'm excited to see it. Do you want to get to our the resident
Those
comedy?
good boys.
Get that good? Those good boys? Yeah. So far, and it's been out for... It came out this past like Thursday.
For a week, I believe.
Yeah. So right up till today, in its first week, it's made $30 million.
Off of how much of a budget?
20.
That makes sense.
So it's doing very, very well for a comedy, especially an original R-rated comedy.
Probably clear 60 mil.
Yeah. Yep. I think it's only the second original property to top the box office all year.
Wow.
Which is sad, but
Is Us the other one?
yes. And it's only it's the first original R-rated comedy to top the box office in 3 years.
Since Deadpool.
Wow.
Yes. No, not Deadpool.
What was the last one?
I don't know what the last one was, but it wasn't Deadpool because Deadpool's not an original comedy.
Yeah.
Oh, all right, that's fair enough.
But yeah, it is directed by. I almost said Andre guy again. It was
It's all
directed,
over the place.
directed by Gene Stupinski. He also wrote it alongside a couple other guys. I think Seth Rogen and Evan Goldberg produced it.
Yeah.
They did.
And that definitely shows
Yeah.
a lot. But basically, the general premise is these 3 7th grade boys having their own super bad.
They're in
Sixth
6th grade.
Yeah.
Oh, you're right. Sorry. The log line in IMDb says 7th graders.
Well, IMDb is wrong.
Yes, because they are 6th graders. But
And
they're
it
about
completely
to,
changes the story.
yeah, they're about to be in 7th grade.
No, I think they're just
no,
starting
they
6th
just
grade.
started 6th grade.
Then why does he say the line, are we 6th graders or are we 7th graders?
I believe it's 5th to
It's
6th.
5th or 6th.
Then
It's 5th or 6th.
IMDb really fucked with your boy.
Yeah.
Because his brain hurts now.
They must have put a plus after all the That's a little programming joke, folks.
Good job, Taylor.
Thank you.
So happy
I paid
you're
a
here.
lot of money for that class in college. And guess how much of it I use now?
But
that
yeah,
joke.
basically, it's those 3 6th graders having their own super bad in a way.
In a way.
Basically, there's a kissing party at that they got invited to, but they don't know how to kiss, so they try to figure it out and
Have a series of escapades.
yeah, a series of unfortunate events unfold that send them on a harrowing journey, upon which they learn about themselves and their friendships.
In what is a charming.
Very
coming of age.
very charming coming of age R-rated comedy that has a lot of fuck words in it said by children.
Yeah, it sure does.
Did you guys see there was this promo for the film where they were going to get the reactions of the 3 main actors watching the Red Band, and before they started they said, "Oh, you guys aren't old enough to watch this trailer."
Yeah, it's Seth
I thought
Rogen.
that was fantastic.
Yeah. Seth Rogen talking to them about how they're not old enough to watch the trailer
For the movie there.
for the movie that they're in. He's like, so because Hollywood's fucked up, you can hear me say those words and say those words in yourselves and do the stuff in the film, but you can't watch yourselves do the stuff.
Someone at the MPAA wrote an article or wrote something and was like, "Okay, so here's the official rules."
Yeah, spoilers for this one. I mean, we kind of tried to tiptoe around.
Is this not a spoilers podcast?
Sometimes it is. It depends on what it is.
Spoilers for
we-
God damn it.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
We
For the
tried
story
to-
stalies.
We tried to avoid it for Stranger Things because some of the plot points in that will.
It's probably a lot of people very invested.
Yes.
Yes.
But for scary stories to tell in the dark, they're.
You're so good at saying that.
A significant portion of the main cast aren't going to survive that movie because it's a horror movie. Good boys, you kind of know what's going to
You
happen.
know that none of them are going to survive the film.
Yeah, exactly.
That's
Yeah,
right.
exactly. Yeah, I thought it was very funny at a lot of points. Surprise Will Forte was a nice treat.
It was great, yeah.
Will Forte was in this, and he was in Booksmart, right?
I think so.
So
No, was that Bill Hader?
I don't think it was. I'm pretty sure it was Will
No, it's
Forte also.
I'm pretty
Was
sure
it?
it's Will Forte.
Okay.
So he's just gonna be in all these movies, right? As the
That's
dad.
I guess so. No, I had a great time. I liked the two teenage girls,
Yeah.
trying to deal with these idiot kids the whole time. That was fun.
They're really great.
And their like story kind of or involvement in the story kind of coming to an end or coming to a head at the end was great with how they had a positive influence on them as well. That was cool. I liked how accurate it was to how 6th grade boys can act. Not all 6th grade boys, because my 6th grade experience was very different, but also very similar to this. My relationship with my friends is what I related to and remembered the most about while I was watching this. But yeah, I thought the three actors, Jacob Tremblay, Keith L. Williams, and Brady Noon, I think they all did great. It was a good time. It was real fun. I liked all the cameos. That was good.
The audience was really fun too. Everybody was cackling.
Yeah, our audience was into it in a good way.
Yeah.
I do kind of feel like if I watched this movie by myself, I don't think I would laugh as much.
I'd agree. If I were to just sit here and watch this for the first time, like on my own, I probably wouldn't outwardly laugh that much.
I have been entertained, and I wouldn't have turned it off.
Sure, yeah, I would have enjoyed it. But
I definitely wouldn't have chuckled.
I did also feel like there was this general shtick of them not understanding sex stuff and then not understanding drug stuff, and it did feel like they leaned on that premise a little heavy.
Also, there were a couple times where they didn't know how to kiss, but they had a joke where Stephen Merchant buys a sex doll and that they think is a CPR doll, but then they go, am I the only one who thinks he's going to fuck that doll?
Right, and and
I'm like, all right, so you don't know how to kiss, but then how do you know, how can you pick that up? You know what I mean?
Right.
The intelligence of the kids was played on different levels several times.
Depending on the joke.
Depending on the joke and the scenario. I think my favorite sequence was when they invaded the frat house.
Oh.
Yeah.
That was probably my favorite bit.
That was stupendous.
That douchey fucking frat boy.
How much did you hate him?
I hated him. He was.
Why? Because he sells drugs to kids? All of a sudden he's a bad guy for doing that? He's fucking bigoted.
Honestly, that's not the worst.
Can you say that again real close to the microphone?
Why is he a bad guy? Just because he sells drugs to children? You don't know his life. You don't know what he's been through. You don't know what he's going to use that money for, beer.
Oh boy, I like the focused in dick shots of them getting peppered with paintballs.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was great.
That was really good.
Also the reactionary headshot with the paintball gun. Oh man, I'm a fool for physical comedy, and there was really a good bit of it in this too.
Yeah.
Which I was kind of surprised about. So I thought it was gonna be all just dick jokes.
Yeah.
Because I love Seth Rogen, but
jokes.
That's a lot of what he does. They're good dick jokes, but that's a lot of what they are. It's just dick jokes. But the bit where his arm gets dislocated,
oh my god!
They try to set it again, and they throw him the wrong arm first into the dumpster, and then they go to lift him up off the ground and pull on that arm.
Yeah. Oh my god.
I will say Lucas being such a fucking
good boy
narc the whole time got on my nerves, but that was kind of the point. I think.
Loved him.
He was hilarious.
There are kids like that.
There are definitely kids like that. Yeah.
I like that they included someone like that because he was the most memorable part of the film for me.
Sure,
yeah,
he was good.
He
was good. I also liked the subtle diversity. It wasn't just boys crushing on girls the whole time. There was a just subtle passing conversation about the one teenage girl's first kiss being with a girl, and you see Max's ex-girlfriends get together, and while he sobs uncontrollably at a skate park. That was hilarious.
Also, it's a month later, he's burned through 3 relationships.
Which is
Fantastic
and accurate. Yeah.
Yeah, this movie had a lot of stuff that really surprised me as being incredibly positive. There was a lot of don't kiss girls without their consent. There was a lot of don't say that about women and respect other people as human beings and stuff like that. And I thought that was really sweet.
Lucas was the driving force for
the
most
champion
of
all of that.
I thought Thor was they were gonna make him kind of come out by the end.
Was it because of the earring?
No. It was just there were little subtle things where he now I'm not saying just because you get into singing and musicals that you're gay. Not at all. But the fact that
it's in a movie.
The fact that character in a movie also was there's gonna be a bunch of cool guys there too. A couple times about the kissing party.
I see.
I was like, are they gonna try to?
Maybe you thought there was foreshadowing.
Yeah, but they didn't. And also how he I thought maybe they were gonna go the route of he's jealous of Max, but not because Max is gonna mac on some pretty girl, because some pretty girl is gonna mac on Max.
Aww,
I thought that was gonna be the way it was gonna go, and then that was gonna have to be a way that they had to change their friendship. But nah, he's just a normal kid who's not quite at kissing girls yet, which I did like too. They didn't overly sexualize 12-year-olds.
Which is always a good move in my book.
It's I was so worried. Now Seth Rogen and Evan Goldberg wouldn't do that. I don't think.
There's been comedies in the last 5
But
years that do it though.
Yes, that's what I'm that's so I was a little nervous that it would be a little overly yeah, good job, you did the thing where you macked on a girl.
Right.
Where it was more aw, that's sweet. He likes this girl and he mustered up the courage to go kiss her.
Mm-hmm.
But it wasn't the end game for all life is getting boners taken care of by pretty girls.
Yeah.
Which was sort of super bad.
Not sort of.
Yeah. That is super bad.
That is the whole film.
But I like that it was it kind of properly handled it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's both a good thing for you to engage with your hormones and a good thing for you to not engage with your hormones, whatever you feel like doing.
What's his name when the first couple kisses at Spin the Bottle? He's just
I'm out.
Nope, I'm gonna go play VR.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was great.
Also,
that kid, I like that kid. He was a stereotypical popular kid, but he wasn't an asshole, really.
Oh, the
Asian kid.
Yeah.
No,
whatever
in
his
my
name
theater,
was.
every time he talked, there were people in the audience going I hate this kid.
I mean, he was a sixth grader trying so hard to be the version of cool that Fortnite taught him to be.
Oh God.
But he was also hey, if you're not into kissing, you can get out. That's totally fine.
Play VR,
go upstairs,
yes.
play VR, have some food, whatever, man. But if you stay down here, that's what's going to happen. And I like that. And he wasn't a dick to Thor and Lucas just for the sake of it.
Well, he doesn't invite them to the party.
That's yeah, but it's also his party. He has no obligation to invite anybody. And then when he's asked, Taylor, that's the kind of everyone gets a trophy mentality that is ruining this country.
First off, I got a participation trophy for flag football. That's right. Sue me. The storyline didn't interest me a whole lot, and I didn't find a lot of it very relatable.
Yeah.
There were some good gags. At the end of the year, I'm never going to think about this movie after tonight.
You don't think so?
Nah.
Okay.
I'm probably not going to recommend it to most people.
Yeah.
I would recommend Booksmart.
Yeah.
Over this film for
Absolutely, yeah. And I haven't even seen Booksmart.
And I'd
I know.
I would probably recommend most. I mean, it just feels like a knockoff brand of Judd Apatow movie.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's you could get pretty much everything you need to get out of this movie without feeling gross about.
Go see Bridesmaids.
The fact that they're kids with either Booksmart or Superbad.
This movie feels like they really leaned on the fact that they're 12.
Something like that.
If this same movie took place, and even if you the jokes wouldn't be that great if they weren't. The joke for most of it is get it, they're kid.
Yeah, more or less. It's
and that gets boring after a while. I gave Good Boys a 5 out of 10. Average.
I would say that, yeah, on my comedy scale, yeah, about a 6.5, 7. I'll probably watch it like one. It'll get added to that very long list of what the fuck do you want to watch tonight? Oh, Good Boys is on Netflix.
Throw it on at a party.
Yeah, or like, yeah, we're like hanging out and just like playing cards or something like that. We want something on the background that'll make us go every like once in a while.
Occasional sight gag.
But yeah, there were no like real standout gags. There were no real standout like touching moments. There were examples of both of those things. But yeah, I'd agree. None of them were really like
emotionally.
That was the best. So yeah, I'd say overall, like my objective scale, just against every other movie ever, yeah, it's about a 5.
Yeah.
How about you, Kit?
Yeah, I'd give it like a 6 out of 10. I'd give it like a 6 out of 10 overall.
She's talking to me, not the microphone.
Sorry. I'd give it like a 6 out of 10 overall. Entertaining. Not particularly gripping.
Yeah.
I didn't want my money back or anything.
No.
Yeah.
Solid.
Yep. Decent. Like average. Like we all said.
Fun. It was a fun evening.
Yeah, it was fun. It's a good date night movie.
Can't you just have fun for a night, you cynical prick? I'm talking to you, listener.
You, listener. Have fun every once in a while. Not everything has to be Citizen Kane.
Go watch Mamma Mia 2. Go watch Good Boys. Just have fun for an afternoon. God
damn it. Fuck.
Play Mario Kart 8. Just have fun.
Yeah.
I want to get Mario Party and play it with the whole Screenplay gang. So we can all yell at each other live.
On Switch?
Yeah.
Nice.
Sounds grand.
I'll bring
would you be in
my Switch.
Would you be in, Taylor?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Woo.
Yeah.
It's a date.
Sweet.
With 8 people.
All right.
We're going to have to switch it up.
Bye.
Right. Yeah, we're done.
Bye, everyone.
Oh, no, Taylor's dabbing.
The rustling is out of this world because you're wearing 2 different flannels.
Oh, this isn't flannel. This is just a button-up.
No, it's...
Bitch, it's a flannel.
This?
If it's a button-up that has the plaid pattern.
All right. It's short sleeve.
It's not a flannel?
That ain't flannel.
Oh, I hate it. What is it?
It's a short sleeve button-up.
All right. Taylor and Kit have to fist fight now. Thank you very much for listening to another episode of Midnight Masterminds, actually recorded at midnight, which would probably explain why we went on so many tangents. I sound a little grumpy, and Kit didn't talk that much.
So sorry.
Blame Taylor. He's the one who has to work late all the time.
Oh, and I was so into it, too. I was like, I was driving over here, and I was like, yeah, they're waiting on me. I love it.
All right, that's enough. We're going to bed. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Thanks for listening.
Good night.
Bye, guys.
Exact same thing again.
What did you keep saying? He kept saying
Starry Scories.
Starry.
Taylor, I just want you to give it a solid try. Keep trying to say the name of the movie.
Scary stories to tell. Say scary stories 5 times fast.
Scary stories, scary stories, scary stories, scary stories, scary stories.
All right. Why aren't you guys just the fucking...
Go ahead. No, keep...
Scary stories, scary stories, scary stories, scary stories, toy boat, toy boat, toy boat, toy boat.
Rubber baby buggy bumper.
All right.